So no sooner has Cyberpunk 2077 had a breath of fresh life with its latest 1.6 update, now Cd Projekt Red have a massive announcement with one of their reveals being their Cyberpunk game that's in the works, codenamed Orion. Cd Projekt Red had big news this week, announcing not one, not two, not even 3 games they're working on, but 5 in total. These games are all in very early stages with codenames that will change later down the line. So first up, seemingly in pre-production, is the next instalment for the Witcher series they are currently calling Polaris, which marks the beginning of a new saga, one that they are hoping will go on to become a trilogy. Second up, another Witcher game codenamed Canis Majoris, which I hope I'm pronouncing correct, a completely separate game to the one before, with an external studio heading this one up. Then to top off the Witcher content, they went on to announce another game produced by Molasses Flood, a studio that's been a part of Cd Projekt Red since around 2021. It sounds like they will be making a very different game from past titles, one that will offer single player and a multiplayer experience, and this one is codenamed Sirius. Next up is a completely new game from Project Cd Red, codenamed Hadar. This is being created from scratch, so will be completely new content, and it'll be interesting to see what this is about as they reveal more in the future. Last but definitely not least, the massive news that they are aiming to take the Cyberpunk universe even further with their new instalment of Cyberpunk 2077. Currently, this is codenamed Orion. This news all comes at the same time as we find out that the Cd Projekt Red's joint CEO and co-founder, Marcin Nowinski, is stepping down. So just an overwhelming amount of news all hitting us at once. Now all of these projects are at the earliest stages, with a few sounding like they're still in pre-production, so don't expect any traction on anything anytime soon. Cd Projekt Red however did a video yesterday and thanked everyone for the game reaching a massive 20 million copies sold worldwide. For a game with such a bumpy launch, this number is actually quite astounding. Now they went on to say that their Cyberpunk game will be fully taking advantage of the latest hardware and will be using the Unreal Engine. They wanted to point out that there's a few key areas they plan to head their business towards. They want to deliver more content to gamers with a focus on quality. To me this means they're trying to focus on more timely releases of good quality, rather than say for example the 9 years it took for Cyberpunk to be released and still hit the market with a massive amount of issues. One I wasn't expecting was multiplayer experiences. This interests me greatly as I felt Cyberpunk would have been even better if there was some form of multiplayer within it, like they originally planned. Not that I'm knocking the single player experience, as Cyberpunk manages to make that experience amazing as it is. And finally, to expand their already set up franchises even further, aka Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher. From what they've stated, this sounds like they're going to be all in with these two franchises, with them even branching out into books, comics, more TV and film, which I think was to be expected after the huge success of the Edgerunners anime. Then they go on to partnership and merchandise, and finally one that you will either love or completely hate, and that's going to be mobile gaming.
No! No! No!
Now having them so committed to these franchises is very promising, but maybe a bit of a bittersweet pill for some of us, as with all these commitments and how much they must have on their plate, it's now very likely that the stated only one planned DLC for Cyberpunk, set to release in 2023, Phantom Liberty, probably will be its swan song for the game, as they focus more on the future and their next Cyberpunk game in the works. I could be wrong and things may well change further down the line, but I can't see anything happening in the Cyberpunk game we have for quite some time myself. Also they've stated that the first 3 releases will be the Witcher games, with the 4th slot being fulfilled by the Cyberpunk Orion. Remember they have got some separate teams helping on these and getting involved with these projects, so don't think that's going to add too many years on top of how long it takes. However, it does put things in perspective, and realistically a game with this type of scale usually takes 5 years or more to make. So whilst this announcement is amazing, for anyone who loves these types of games, it's probably best to temper your expectations as it's very early days, and you won't be playing any of these for quite some time. But just knowing they're in the works and Cd Projekt Red have them as their main focus is a really good thing to know. So what do you all think of the announcement? Are you hyped for what's to come, or would you have preferred a little bit more focus and attention on the Cyberpunk 2077 game we already have and love? Let me know in the comments, and as always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.